Another episode of Solo and Doc. I'm here. I am the good doctor. This is the one and only, the great one, Michael Lynch, also known as Solo. And we have our usual panel of background characters, the least important being Eric Leonetti.
Fuck you, Kenny.
The delicious Dre Ramirez.
Don't speak.
And those wonderful breasts. And
their
our
guests.
world-class producer who just turned 22 years of age.
Oh,
Is it 23?
who was scissoring
23.
like crazy last night.
The lovely Elisha Martinez. We have a great guest today. I can't wait to get into this. Pej is
How nice
here.
you said it.
Did I?
Now go down to Starbucks and teach all the baristas how to say it right away.
We have Pej in the house for the next hour, and he's got a lot to say. I can't wait to get into this. Michael, you want?
Yeah.
take it
Hey,
away?
bro, thank you for coming on
Thanks
the
for
show.
having me.
You know,
What an honor.
I'm really excited about this because you and I are very like-minded on a lot of things
Yes.
that are very unpopular, whether it's in this industry, addiction, people, and you're a very outspoken person, which I relate to. And you don't run from controversy. You don't run from when you have an opinion on what you know. That's what I like is you stand on it, and most people will not. So why don't we start here? Why don't we tell everyone who you are, what you own. Let's start there.
Okay, so my name is Pej. I am an interventionist. I'm a family recovery coach and an individual coach too, recovery, sometimes life coach, certified in all areas. I'm part of a team called Intervention on Call. We're a national team. It was founded by Sam Davis. He's out of Virginia. It's a few interventions from around the country, and we do a lot of family recovery coaching too, like 5 nights a week, free for people throughout America, and then they can book privates, and then we actually sometimes go out and do in-person interventions nationally and globally. I own 2 recovery homes. I don't like to call them sober living homes because we get people from all walks of life. We have people with high acuity mental health that we just need to get stabilized and then try to teach them life skills. And then also a lot of failure to launches, a lot of people that have been at countless treatment centers, homeless, lots from well-to-do families, lots from poverty-stricken families. Either way,
That's like
those
us.
are down in Orange County.
Yeah.
I live in LA and Orange County. I'm between both cities a lot. And that's for the most part professionally. That's who I am. Pej Interventions is my brand.
Yeah.
I am also an influencer, and I have a podcast.
Yeah.
I've had 3 different podcasts on social media. The most recent one is called Primary Purpose with Pej, and there's a reason that we named it that, and why we had to change it on YouTube because we got age restricted, which got us less viewers. It used to be Pej's Recovery Corner, but the word recovery on YouTube gets you flagged.
Wow, they don't like the word recovery.
They don't like the word recovery, addiction. I mean, it depends. You know, there's like a list of words. I have a producer that we went over this list. I was like, wait a second here. The podcast is called Pej's Recovery Corner. He goes, yeah. I'm like, so does that mean we need to change the podcast name? He goes, be a good idea.
Why the fuck won't they want recovery on there?
Oh, no, it's not that they don't want recovery on there. It gets age restricted, which for some reason, when that happens, then you get less viewership. So now we've revamped and we started this new podcast called
kinda sad.
Primary Purpose with Pej, which you and I know what primary purpose is.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, man. Because the youth aren't getting the information about addiction that they should be getting. The
It's
education.
horrible, but they still get it on TikTok. And sometimes it's the wrong
It's
information.
wrong information. But everything on TikTok's the wrong information. Everyone's an idiot on TikTok.
Kids love TikTok.
They do love it, Dre.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Long-form video.
Yeah. It's like our society because everyone's gotten less and less attention span.
Yes.
You know, that's why it works. So what's like the craziest intervention that has ever happened?
I mean, I've gone into a tweaker environment where there were guns and people were going to draw them, and one actually did.
Okay.
One guy tried to attack me physically. Luckily, some of the family members actually stopped him. He was this Asian dude down in Garden Grove.
Oh, wow.
And so I mean,
TRG gang.
you know about that.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. No, he might have been affiliated at one time or
probably,
another.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, that was like a crazy one that stands out. There's a lot of, I do a lot of interventions.
Has anyone bit you?
Not bite.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Not yet. There are still yets.
Next week it's gonna happen. You're gonna be like, this motherfucker jinxed me.
I have done interventions on homeless people, usually that are intense, and like I become like private investigator guy, so then I have to go off of hints and clues and last phone calls in areas where they were in psych hospitals, and so I got to go try to find them intense. But like I've seen some shit.
I'm sure.
I've seen some. I'm talking like tents where people in Chicago, like in the dead of winter. I'm like, so this is how you guys do this, right? I mean, insulated,
Freezing to death.
Insulated tents with like generators and heating systems and couches, and I'm like, I understand.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. You don't have to pay taxes.
Kenny was just shitting his pants in a hotel room.
Unbelievable.
Wow. So, do you deal with a lot of the severe mental health too?
Lots of mental health. As a matter of fact, part of our team from Intervention on Call, because they know I'm an old school tweaker from around the way.
Yeah. That's why you're good at investigating and going through the tents and all that
Absolutely.
different
I should have
shit.
just been a cop, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Or a bounty hunter.
exactly.
That's all it
Pej
is.
the bounty hunter. I should just grow out my mullet. It just won't grow in all areas. But no, I'll tell you, the other interventionists don't like to take a lot of meth cases because they know it's my specialty.
Oh, got it.
And psychosis is my specialty
Yeah.
too. Like I like to do interventions on people in psychosis because I get them. Like I understand. Like they're not all here right now, but I'd like to get them to land the ship and understand like your life's not working and perhaps some of the stuff
That's a
you're
tough one.
imagining
You're
is
able to bring in somebody that's in meth psychosis
It takes a little while.
and get through. Because, bro, when I used meth, dude, I did all the drugs and the meth. When I did meth, I've never returned to meth because I'm one of those guys that as soon as I get high, I think I have a predisposition for schizophrenia, dude, because I would be like tripping. There was no way you could have talked me into anything. I don't
What's
think.
crazy, I never experienced it myself, and I did a lot of meth.
You didn't get into psychosis?
Not from meth, from LSD and things like that, like a little
yeah,
bit.
it's supposed
But
to.
I used to, when I was doing meth, there were friends, using buddies that we were using with, that would start saying shit like,
The cops are coming.
yeah, like put on this stethoscope and let's go listen to the wall. I'm like, you're cut off, bro. Like, you're losing it. Like, enough. Don't give him any more.
Wow. So is that your main drug of choice, meth?
I would say meth pretty much mastered all the other. I was a polysubstance abuser. I used everything. Heroin. I'm Persian. We did a lot of opium, acid, all the hallucinogens, marijuana, alcohol. Those were a few of my favorite things, but meth was my master, and it also brought me to my knees. It was my demise.
How long were you on meth?
I'd say out of the 18 years that I was using, about 15 to 16 years, and I'm now almost 19 years sober. So.
Wow. On your podcast, that's awesome.
Yeah.
On your podcast, you talk a lot about different substances, and I
Yeah.
noticed that and what they do and how they work and all of that. And I wanted to talk about that because do you think that using one drug is worse for us than using another drug?
Example?
Like one would say, okay, you know, if you're going to go on a run for 10 years, right, and you go on a run with heroin for 10 years, as opposed to meth, which one is worse for you?
Well, I mean, at this point right now, especially in
fentanyl,
the day and age that we're in, I actually just made a video about this for my TikTok the other day. We've got two epidemics, at least that are like neck and neck that I see, right? Fentanyl, obviously, and it comes in so many different shapes and forms, cut, you know, and so much stuff.
And Suboxone. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Well, then
my
in
bad.
that case, then, that would be three. That would be three, because I'm very, very opinionated when it comes to Suboxone.
we're
But
gonna go there.
meth, we've got a country that's got people in it that are in psychosis or just like addicted to meth. We've got housewives or people that just depend on it for work or people that are secretive or people that are doing it in an open area with a lot of other tweakers, right? So there's a lot of meth out there and there's a lot of fentanyl. And so I don't think one is better than the other. I think everybody should get off of that shit and come get into it. It's okay to cuss on your podcast, right?
But when they come off, like I've noticed, like because I deal with a lot of the after effects of coming off the drugs.
Sure.
And in our program, we get everyone off all the drugs, even the most addictive one, Suboxone.
Yeah.
But I deal with, like, I always say the clouds lift in layers.
Yeah.
And whenever I have someone on meth, a lot of times, and this is where our clinicians aren't sophisticated enough.
Yeah.
If they're not an addict.
Yeah.
Because they will diagnose them schizophrenic and all this other stuff. And it's like, and I'm like, whoa. Look at the drug of choice.
Yeah.
Because I know.
Could just be drug induced.
Yeah, and it's still, you know,
Lingering.
you're clean, but it's lingering. You know what I mean? And we know that like sometimes it's going to take a while, even up to a year. I've seen where the meth is still doing shit up in the head.
Sure. Or
and
has done shit.
Has done shit. That's
Permanent
where
shit.
Dr. Kenny could probably talk about what it does, or how I don't know why it is that it lingers, and they have every symptom of schizophrenia, and they're getting misdiagnosed, and then hence put on schizophrenic drugs, which I kind of have a problem with, because if you're changing the chemical balance of their brain, when as an addict, I know because I used them.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I got busted, and it took a while for me to like come down.
Yeah.
You know, and so whenever I see it, especially the meth thing, I'm always like, all right, if they were on a sick one, they're gonna be tripping for a little bit. And our clinicians always are like thinking, you know, they're schizophrenic and this and that. I'm like, no, they're not. And I don't hold any licenses, so but I'm always right on that. You know?
Sure. I mean, me personally, and I know I want to hear from the good doctor too, because I'm sure you're very, very aware of
He's a
how it
fucking idiot.
You don't know me,
No,
Pej.
I think it goes case by case. I have seen people that have had that predisposition and hereditarily in their family system may have had schizophrenia. So, like, I got a guy that's in one of my houses that to this day, he's been off of meth a few years. He was intravenously shooting it. And although he's medicated, he still walks in the backyard in circles. He walks so much in that circle that there's a pattern on the ground of his footsteps. And, like, I'll go out there and tell him, like... So, because he's talking to himself. Sometimes they're loud voices. Sometimes they're like, "What are you talking about today? What are they saying?" "Oh, they're just telling me about Bitcoin." I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
Okay, cool.
You got tips?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'd have been like.
anything that's
Does this
beneficial.
voice know more than us?
But the good thing is that they're not telling him to go kill himself anymore.
Yeah.
So there are some people that are going to have permanent psychosis for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
I believe in if a person, because there's a lot of people find me on social media that like they're still saying a year later after being off of substances, especially meth, that there's go see a doctor.
Yes, right.
Perhaps you need to get on Abilify or Risperdal or something. You know, I believe in the shot that they give for once a month. That really works
100%,
really well.
100%.
It subsides the voices. Go ahead, Doc. I would love to hear
I agree with everything, and you don't. I don't disagree with anything that you guys have said. You know, one thing I'll say is that as far as meth goes, you know, meth is, when it comes to the amount of dopamine that's released, meth is the most addictive because it has the greatest reinforcement. Is what we call it. The amount of dopamine that's released from meth, as in compared to other substances like alcohol or pot or crack or anything like that, is way more. Over long periods of time, that definitely results in like some not permanent changes, but changes that aren't going to go away. You go to the detox, right? Everybody who goes to detox, whether you're dope sick, you're coming off alcohol, whatever, you know you're in for a rough 6 or 7 days.
Yeah.
Right? Meth, the changes that are induced can be much longer than that. And it doesn't result in something called schizophrenia. Everybody wants to say schizophrenia. It's like a neurocognitive deficit that needs time to repair. There's a lot of activity that goes on with methamphetamine, and the mechanism by which it works is different. Part of it is it does what cocaine does. It blocks the reuptake of neurotransmitters, but it also stimulates the release of neurotransmitters from the little vesicles. So it's way more potent, and over time, you can get into trouble that's not going to go away in 3 or 4 days. I totally agree. One of my aggravations, it's a chronic frustration, is people will come in. It's not just meth users either. Right. Every fucking person who comes into treatment winds up with a diagnosis of
Bipolar.
major depressive disorder,
Yeah.
and bipolar
It's
disorder.
day one. The guy's not even
attention
landed the ship
deficit.
yet.
No,
Detox.
exactly. All of them. And everybody, every motherfucker who comes in has got
unethical.
ADHD,
It's unethical.
generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, sometimes autism, all this shit. And I'm like, you know,
No, that's
it's
Eric.
true.
That's Eric.
No, and I'm like, holy shit! Would you give this guy 2 months to just stabilize?
Yeah.
You want to load him up with antipsychotics and high dose antidepressants, and anxiolytics and all this kind. Just give him a couple of months or her to stabilize.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you.
Well, here's another thing that happens too. If they get diagnosed with something and they get put on those medications, then they're told like this is your diagnosis.
That's right.
Then that becomes their identity.
That's right.
Yep.
And then they'll even weaponize that diagnosis, right? the cool thing is that there's some centers that I really believe in, like when people go in for, let's say it's a primary mental health facility and they've been just medicated to the gills for a long time.
right.
They go in there and they get re-diagnosed. They're like, wait a second here.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't what you actually
That's
are.
what we do.
I love that.
That's what we do. We get all these. The number one frustration for us is they come out of detox with a bipolar diagnosis.
Right.
And I'm like, where'd you get that? In detox?
Yeah.
We're all bipolar coming
Yeah.
off drugs, and you're in a detox on all these fucking drugs, and you
No,
got
I
some
know.
quack ass doctor.
Yeah.
There's nothing more subpar than the doctors that are in this treatment industry. It's the ones that can't make it at Cedars-Sinai or any other industry.
Right.
So they come in here and they just see them on Zoom real quick. They're like, oh, you're experiencing, bipolar. You're like, bro, you got 7 days off drugs. Actually, you're not even off drugs. You're on new narcotics to get off the drugs, and they're doing it. And our psych always we do reevaluations on
Good.
all
She's
of these
good.
things.
She's good.
You know,
As they
because you
should.
have another one that's misdiagnosed a lot. BPD,
BPD, borderline personality disorder.
borderline
Yeah.
personality disorder.
I know all about that.
The autism,
you.
BPD,
All
like
this stuff.
they always doing that, and the BPD ones are kind of funny because it's the client that someone had told them in a treatment center that
Yeah.
they are, and like you said, they take it on as identity. So then they come in, they said, "I'm diagnosed BPD,"
Yeah.
but they're not.
But they're not.
But they're not.
I heard. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I heard a fuck you.
I love this. This is my type of environment.
I heard a guy from the Cleveland Clinic. He was an addiction specialist, not an addict, but he's treated thousands of addicts over the course of 41 years. That's all he's done. And he gave a lecture back in Ohio, and he was saying, I'll never forget, he was saying that he thought it was irresponsible to lay out a primary psychiatric diagnosis within the first 3 months of sobriety.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But it's amazing that everybody, it's incredible to me. Everybody's got a diagnosis, especially bipolar. That's another one.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bipolar.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at those mood swings. That's not bipolar.
Yeah.
Do you even know the fucking diagnostic criteria?
Yeah.
She's out of her mind. She's angry one minute.
withdrawal.
Right. No, this is like she's emotionally labile.
Or
Ken, did you
major
diagnose yourself?
depressive disorder. We're all depressed when we come in here.
Sure. Why do you think we were doing the drugs?
I lost her. I fucked off my whole career. I'm depressed because I ain't got shit. I destroyed my whole life. I'm
Right.
fucking depressed. No one wants to talk to me.
Right.
There's no one left to manipulate.
Yeah.
I'm not able to get shit from everyone.
Right.
I'm depressed.
Of
And
course.
I don't have my things that I love, which are drugs.
Yeah.
I'm fucking depressed.
I don't need Lexapro. I need
Yeah.
a community.
Yeah,
I need a
exactly.
program.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And time.
Exactly.
No, it's crazy. The other thing, one thing I'll say before we move on, since you brought up meth. There are a couple of drugs that will actually kill neurons over time. One is chronic alcoholism, as we know, winds up with wet brain,
Wet brain.
Korsakoff syndrome. The other one is methamphetamine. Methamphetamine causes a type of cell death called excitotoxicity. It's like running a horse until it just dies. You know, so. With meth in particular, you got to give it some time. Some people, just in my own experience as an addict and even in working in treatment for the last few years, there are a few people who may not get that back. You know, they may
You
not.
can see that sometimes. Like guys that have used meth over long times, they're
Shot out.
Well, they're
They're shot.
perma-spun.
Yeah.
You know the whole perma-spun thing? That's what you're talking about. So that's what's
what's
happening
wrong
in the
with me?
brain.
What's wrong with me, or I'm just a retard?
No, you need karyotyped is what you have. Yeah, there's other issues.
Your brain hadn't even developed enough to get damaged.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so brilliant.
That the prefrontal lobe development
lobe,
never
yeah.
happened with you.
Yeah.
So tell us about how'd you grow up, man? And how'd you get into drugs and all this whole
So
thing?
I'm Iranian. I'm Persian.
Yeah.
Born in Germany.
Wow.
I've been to Iran for about 6 months when I was 4.5. Okay. But
Why were you in Germany? Your parents in the military or
Parents
something?
met in Germany. No, they were more going to school there. A lot of Persians would go to Germany and those European countries for studies.
Okay.
And that's where they met. That's where they had me and my sister. We went to Iran. Mom was contemplating if we were going to be raised in Iran or perhaps we should come to the land of the free, to the United States.
Yeah.
And so that's where we came.
Wow.
And so at 5 years of age, we landed in Salt Lake City, Utah.
That's not land of the free, bro.
I'm telling you,
That's land of the
being
cult.
an
Out of all
Iranian,
the places
a
to
dark-skinned Iranian, because most Iranians are like olive skin.
How many wives did you
Dark-skinned Iranian. No. Oh, you mean in Utah?
Well, yeah, there's 8, but look at that's the culture there is similar. In Iran, you can have multiple wives, and in Utah, you can have
But the
multiple
reality
wives.
of it is where we were in Utah and
But one place they hit them, the other place they don't.
Yeah, it wasn't in Salt Lake. We didn't see any of that stuff. But they were all Mormon families, vast majority.
Yeah.
And we were this Muslim Iranian family. I'm not a practicing Muslim, just for the record, right?
yeah.
I do respect that, but I'm not that. But anyway, growing up there was kind of rough. Like I experienced bullying in the school by a few people. They didn't like, especially because of that whole hostage crisis that happened, and U.S. And now it's happening all over again. But so I'd get bullied in school sometimes, come home and get bullied in the house by the house bully, which would be my father, who was a very loving man, but he had his days, and when he had his days, he would be a certain way. Yeah. And my relationship with alcohol started at a very young age because him and his friends would drink on the weekends. So
Wait, so he wasn't a Muslim?
he was and wasn't.
He was, unless he wants
He would-
to do some shit that wasn't so Muslim, like drink.
It's crazy. He prayed, but he drank. So
Yeah, because the alcohol thing is a kind of a no-no.
So
You know what I mean?
haram.
It's a
Yeah.
big no-no.
Right. But then, they would drink on the weekends. I had a little sip of that. And then afterwards, I went to a Persian wedding when I was 12 and got blasted drunk. And at the age of 12,
And fell in love.
not only did I tried alcohol, I tried weed, and I huffed gas. And so I was
huffed
already like seeking an escape from this mental whatever I got going on in my head. We moved to California when I was 15. And
And you had a good mother and father,
great
stable
mom and
home.
dad. Great mom. They provided. They were good. We had a good family system,
great. We're
except
talking
for a
about
little
this
bit of
again.
violence that dad had. But
You know, a little bit of violence,
a
hit
little
you with
bit-
rocks
that's,
and
that's
shit.
natural during
Yeah.
those times. I think
Yeah.
every dad was violent.
Absolutely.
They use their hand to get their point across. Usually,
I think that's probably,
these days
that's
you get
probably what's
canceled,
wrong with
right?
America today. Everyone's gotten
Yeah.
so fucking soft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These days, people
Use
get
a
you get called.
pronoun.
You get called. The cops will get called on you. But anyway,
Yeah.
so we moved to California. We thought, because we would come to Woodland Hills and Canoga Park on vacation a lot, that my dad said we're moving to LA, and he must have thought the whole state of California was LA because we moved to LA. We moved to the big old city of Costa Mesa, Orange County, California.
Nice.
Okay.
And it was cool. Like I went to Costa Mesa High. I gravitated towards people that were having a lot of fun with drugs and alcohol, and that just became a way of life. I had a gruesome car accident when I was 17. I was not under the influence, but I was driving a car full of people, and I hit a guy, and that guy died. He died
Oh,
4 days
fuck.
later. So that became an ultimate excuse for me to just use and drink in excess. And that's exactly what I did.
Because you blamed yourself for his death.
Because people would come up to me on the street and say, "Hey, aren't you Pej, the guy that killed the guy on the bike?" I'm like,
Wow.
"Bro, like what the fuck?" Like I didn't wake up that morning and decided to go out and kill somebody. Like that's a pretty harsh way of putting it. But then I got into a lot of fights. There was a lot of criminal activity, if you will, because I was 17. I was
You're
a knucklehead.
Are you on meth yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I
Because
was-
criminal activity and meth go together.
Sure,
Straight up.
absolutely. No, I was doing weed, hallucinogens, many different things. The experimental phase as an adolescent was in full effect, right? But the accident gave me more of an excuse to use in excess.
Got it.
And by using in excess, I started doing dumb shit, knucklehead shit, and the cops started coming.
Like what?
Like burglaries and breaking into places, fighting, a lot of fighting,
Yeah.
Assault and battery charges. So every other day, the cop was coming and taking me to jail. I'm sitting in holding cells on LSD, just like looking at the ground with
That's
a
a
camera
bad
in the corner,
trip. That's
thinking
a
like,
bad trip.
I don't want them to know, but like, look at the dots on the ground are laughing at me. And then the mad dad would come pick me up, just rah, rah. I'm like, what the fuck? Put me back in the cell.
Yeah.
But so, that happened. I ended up in juvie. Thus started my journey into the system.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they wanted to charge me with a vehicular manslaughter charge without gross negligence. That was going to be the top charge, and then the other stuff that just got me locked up in there. It was bullshit. But anyway, parents split up, and I got out, and I was between homes, and by the time I was 18 years old, my dad and I got into it physically, and for once, like, I put my hands on the old man. Because I
wow.
could. I was bigger, badder.
Yeah.
I had body dysmorphia, so I was doing steroids to look big and bad. And one day he got in my face, and I got in his face, and I put my hands on him and scared the shit out of him. And he moved back to Iran. He told me, like, go to college, take over the rent, get a job, move to Iran. My mom moved up here to Santa Monica, and I was this 18-year-old kid, still wet behind the ears, no
Oh,
home.
roided out and angry down
Roided
there.
out, not knowing how to live in the world. And so I tried to work in the workplace. I would tank every job because I was loaded. I tried to go to college. I was a college dropout because how do you pay attention in class when you're loaded? And I fucking opened shop. Like the type of music we listened to in the late 80s professed how,
Yes.
like, don't get high off your own supply, but start fucking slinging that dope. And that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Now the music's like do dope and take dick. It's changed a lot. You know what I mean? It just changed a lot.
be the doper,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I mean, I think we're around the same age. So like, you know, like back then we didn't have friends that were overdosing and dying on fentanyl
Yeah,
within
exactly.
5 seconds. Like
Exactly.
there was the rave scene, the nightclub scene, the dive bar scene. There was the strip clubs. And so like my house was active.
Yeah.
Like if I'm selling drugs, which I was,
Yeah.
motherfuckers are coming over to get shit, and they
Yeah.
might be strippers, and they might be fucking the homies, and people answer to you. So like the ego was like being stroked like preciously, right? But deep within the pit of my stomach, there was always this impending doom. Like what the fuck is wrong with me, right? And I think I carried a lot of guilt from that car accident, just thinking like you killed that kid on that bike, and so just numb away and get.
Do you think
get
you
low.
also had guilt culturally because your culture is so against all
For
of this
sure,
stuff?
I was raised on guilt and shame.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just the way our culture is.
Correct.
You already know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, that was the way my life was all throughout my young adulthood. My 20s were just drugs, drug sales, drug using.
But that's when it was still fun.
That was when it was so fun. The meth, I had a stint with meth, I would say, from 17 to 23. Back then, it wasn't what our typical methods these days.
No, it was biker dope. It
Crank.
Was crank. Yeah, crank.
Crank.
Yeah, peanut butter.
Peanut butter,
Yeah.
the pink,
Yeah, yeah.
champagne.
Yeah.
45 minutes when you snort it. Oh,
Oh,
man.
no, it felt like someone stuck a fucking pencil up your neck. Right? And then the next thing you know,
Hairs on the back
you're
of
ready
your
to
neck.
fucking redo the whole neighborhood.
You fuck everything and kill
Right?
everything.
Like,
While talking to 4 people.
exactly. So I mean, that was a lifestyle for a while, but like part of me is like, this can't be right. Like this is not good. I got to get off of this. So I would get off of it, but I wouldn't get into recovery. I kept using every other drug, and ecstasy was a friend of mine for sure. I loved MDMA.
I did
MDMA
too.
was a lot of fun for Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday,
women,
Sunday.
Women and ecstasy go well
Hand in hand.
together. Well
And
together.
GHB
And
all
GHB,
the, all,
yeah,
all
yeah,
the,
yeah,
all
yeah.
the-
We're doing the
all
same
the
shit,
love
yeah,
drugs,
yeah.
right? But like
Orange
Monday
County.
when I would come down,
Yeah.
I would convince myself we're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And Tuesday was my like suicidal ideation day. I think I want to today I want to die.
After 4 days of ecstasy, you said
Yeah,
that's,
dude,
that's
yeah.
a common feeling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you do a lot of X,
Yeah.
you deplete that
Yeah.
fucking serotonin,
Yeah, that's
right?
the worst.
Yeah.
Dr. Kenny,
Ecstasy
like,
was so good, and
Yeah.
you roll so hard, but the next day you're like, I think I should kill myself.
Exactly.
You know?
When you start, it seems like a great
You're like-
idea for to do it for
Exactly.
2 days.
Yeah.
Like, let's keep this party rolling, and at the end, it's like, what
good.
did I do?
Is it the drugs? Could it be the drugs? No. But by Wednesday, the weekend's looking attractive, and obviously Thursday is Friday Junior.
Yeah.
And once again, I was very involved in the rave scene. I threw raves. I had a clothing line. This shit was going big. This is the mid '90s. Like all them. You're from OC originally.
Yeah.
All them dudes down in OC, Shaw shoes, Black Flies.
Black Flies,
These
yeah.
were my friends. Like,
Same.
Like we hung
Yeah,
out in these.
same.
We would go to Club Rubber.
Tap out. Yeah, Club Rubber.
Club
dude.
Rubber
Yeah.
was the shit.
Yeah, that was the
like
shit
it
back
was a
then.
production, right?
Yes, yes.
Utopia, Pimp and Ho Fest. Like
These were badass events.
and
I feel
Yeah.
sorry for you
Really?
being in Philadelphia because we were having a lot of fun. In
I feel
Southern
sorry for
California.
the whole East Coast just in
Exactly.
general because they're
Pittsburgh.
from the East Coast.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are from out here. You're soft as baby shit. What are you talking
Oh, believe me, I know. On the
Okay,
East Coast they had
thank you.
Studio 54 and all that shit. Yeah. No, but you know,
crazy.
I went to a Persian sober living when I was 30 years old.
Persian
straight
sober.
out of
Now all
field-
of a sudden you're back in your culture and shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
They learned how to make suicide
I walked
vests.
in, but I didn't stay. I kid you not, the guy that answered the door, his name was Siamak, and he looked like a little Persian recovery Yoda. He even sounded like Yoda with a Persian accent. He's like, "Hello, how do you do? Welcome. This is sober living. We have rules, we have regulations, we have chores. We go to meetings." I'm like, riveting. I'm not staying at your house. I went to some other dude's house, Dave Regal, God rest his soul, in Costa Mesa, no longer with us. But Dave didn't like me. I didn't like him. But he lit me up, and then he sent me to the Newport Club. And back then, the Newport Club upstairs, they had these lazy boy
Yeah.
chairs, and I'd sit in there.
Yeah.
Reluctantly sober, people were
Yeah.
smoking in the room, and I would never share. I never wanted to be any part of any 12-step bullshit community. That's for those people.
Same.
those losers, right?
yeah.
I just need to fucking get the heat off of my back and get out of here.
Yep.
You know, and then once on probation and off probation, it was right back to the progressiveness of my disease, using just on the weekends, just a little fucking, right? And then weekends became weekdays, and weekdays became daily, and daily became anywhere I could park the car and get my fix. I'm
Meth.
sure you can relate, good
I
doctor.
can totally relate to it. I talk about the progression of the disease. These guys know, but I actually was clean for about 9.5 years.
You were before.
Yeah, and why do you keep laughing? Hey, I'm going to bar you from this fucking podcast, dude.
Please.
When we say clean, does that mean you woke up in the morning and took a shower and your body was
No,
clean?
no. What happened was I failed once before, and I got clean. I stayed clean for 9.5 years, rebuilt my career and my whole life.
Nice.
And then I took
I
a
had no idea.
Xanax. Yeah, I took a Xanax in 2017, 16, 17. It's fuzzy.
Off to the races?
I mean, within 48
Self-prescribed.
hours. No, within 48 hours, my whole life came down. Within 18 months, I was at the Erie City Mission. In Erie,
That 9
Pennsylvania.
years, were you like
For the first
doing recovery?
seven, first seven, but then I moved and life was grand.
Nice.
And I, did,
It happened.
Yeah, right. And I just stepped away and got into trouble and decided to remedy myself. And within 72 hours, full speed.
Yeah.
Full speed.
I've seen this before.
And then it came, and then 12 treatments later, I land in Michael's joint, 13. And yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
So
I'm happy that that's where you got your life back.
yeah,
Me too. Our whole community is happy about that.
yeah, crazy.
The reason I get up in the morning.
Oh, shut up.
To annoy him, just to annoy him. So you started getting, you land on meth. So you're
Yeah.
like, this is the one. So you're running around in Tweakertown down there in Orange County.
Yeah.
Tweakertown is crazy. If you guys don't do meth, it's a whole subculture
It is.
going on. And you show up to these houses, and it's like all the tweakers know each other, and they're all fucking barely existing like creatures going house to house, and they'll find the person that just started meth, and they have a house, and so they all just leech onto that person, and then he becomes at the bottom with everyone else, and then they find someone else that still has some of their shit on the way down, and it's this whole like
It's a community. Nobody
It
trusts
is.
anybody, but you all need each other to see who's got something.
and everyone
to stack.
fucks each other over, snitches on each other, fucks each other's girls and guys and all, but yet
And then they're
they'll-
friends again the next day.
then they're hanging out.
You got to get some more. No,
Yeah.
actually, during that time, Jeremy Jackson, that was Hobie on
Yeah, I
Baywatch,
know him.
he was actually
I know him.
he kind of kicked himself off the show.
Yeah.
He was the kid, Hasselhoff's kid.
Yeah.
He had begun to cook
Mm-hmm.
meth in Orange County and he was Breaking Bad before it was even an idea for a show. I mean, that he had the best shit in town. So you'd get these Peni gangsters, which were like the skinhead gang, and then you'd get fucking the La M.A. Mexican mafia. They'd all come to that house that he's talking about in Orange, California, that has all these vines around it. Like you can't see it from the street, but it's like a tweaker's paradise. And they'd be like, we want to get your dope. We want to get that guy, the celebrity kid's dope. I'm like, oh, we've got plenty of that for you.
Shit.
Yeah, that was a lifestyle for sure. But like I told you earlier, it was my demise.
Yeah.
Because as much as I sold meth, did meth, it would get me incarcerated. It just seemed like I was a fucking magnet to cops. Like for some reason,
Isn't that crazy?
Was it me? Was I acting a certain way? Because for sure, like anytime a fucking black and white would get behind me, I'm gonna get pulled over, and they're gonna bring out the dogs, and of
Isn't
course,
that weird?
I got my shit under the car with
Yeah.
the fucking computer magnet. So,
Yeah.
you know, they're scrambling because they'll never find it, even though the dog is going crazy. Now I drive next to cops, they never pull me
Isn't
over.
that crazy? Isn't
They
that
don't even
crazy? Like
care.
all the time, you're just walking down the street at 3 a.m. in a tank top, but
Yeah, sweating in
fucking with
January.
me, yeah. You know,
Sweating.
always fucking with me wherever I go, or I'm in a stolen car. You know what I mean? And I'm like, they happen
Oh,
to
that
pull
could
me
be part of
over,
it.
and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fucking bullshit. Why didn't you pull that guy over?
I had different plates on the car.
Exactly. I switched the plates. You know?
Basically
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So by the time I was 35 years old, I was a homeless man living out of my car in Costa Mesa.
Wow.
There's different levels of homelessness.
Yes.
There's
I
couch
agree.
surfing homeless. You're still without a home. Then
There's hotels.
There's hotels.
Yeah.
There's people that sleep in the encampments and on the streets. The wino that walks up. Me, I had a car.
So you're balling.
In
You
my
didn't have
my world, I felt like I wasn't so bad. I had a guy that came and checked on me, and he compared me to those other homeless people. I said, I'm executive homeless. I have a car. Thank you very much.
Still,
You have gas?
but
It's
we
a
all,
mobile home.
but none of us have a mailing address.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I ended up going to a friend's house to dry out on his couch, and my version of detox for Pej was to quit doing heroin, meth, and coke, but I could still drink and smoke weed, and that's not quitting. Like, come on, Pej, you already know it's going to take you right back to it. My liver started getting kind of fucked up from the alcohol, and I felt like I was having these palpitating murmurs in my heart from all the meth use. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I was 35, going
You
on 36.
felt like you were, but you probably weren't. It's the meth telling you that all this
It was
shit's
a
going
piercing feeling and a heart rate that was undiagnosed. I probably should have gone and seen. Anyway, one day, what is every...
Too bad he wasn't homeless with you. He could have diagnosed you and told you all the shit.
I would have smoked crack with the doctor and called him a doctor out of respect. No, but as long as he was buying it from me or he had something to share with me. No, but eventually, what does every so-called gangster do when they run out of options? I called my mommy, and mom was a brown belt in Al-Anon at this point.
Oh,
and the
shit.
conversation was
awful.
different. This wasn't the Persian mother that used to pull the wool over her eyes all the time. The conversation was different. Like,
'Cause you put
what
them
do you
through.
want? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I want? It's Pej, your son. I love you. I love you, Mom. Mom, I just want to come back home. I'm sober. She's like, you're not sober. You're not. I can hear it in your voice. Mother's milk, right? They know. And she went on to tell me in that conversation that I was dead to her. I'm like, dead to you? Like, what are they teaching you in those Al-Anon classes? You gotta stop going to that stuff. But she said, look, look, son, I love you, and I've loved you your whole life, but if I continue to keep loving you the way I've been loving you, I'll love you to death.
She was
I feel
listening.
like I feel like a monster came and took you away from me when you were an adolescent, and I don't know what the hell this is, because this isn't what I was raising. You've been a jailbird, you've been homeless. If you want help, call this phone number. I called a phone number, and lo and behold, when I called this guy, he told me to go to this house in Irvine, which was a recovery home, on Friday morning. Lo and behold, I knocked on the fucking door. I was punctual. This tweaker was on time, right?
Wow.
I showed up, I knocked on the door, and the door opened real slowly, and I peered right into the eyes of the little Persian recovery Yoda from 5 years before.
No way.
Mr. Sia, right? And I'm like, I know you. I don't know you. I'm like, don't you? You had a house on Beach Boulevard in Huntington Beach 5 years ago. Had the house. Don't remember you. I go, how do you not remember this mug? He's like, because I only remember the ones that stay. I've seen a lot of people come and go in the last 5 years. And I'll tell you right now, that man was a fucking real one. I mean, he's our type of guy. Michael, you might have even known him. He used to be part of Discovery Center, the old school Discovery up here. And so he brought a lot of that style of recovery into his house. There was a lot of writing assignments. It was no nonsense. There was a lot of core groups, like a lot of groups where they would break you down and build you up. Pull your covers if you're full of... Sometimes these gems would just come out. And I call him a Yoda because, like, after a little while, I'd sit there and listen and be like, that was good. Like, something like, you're so inauthentic. You're inauthentic about your own inauthenticity. I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, here, let me break it down for you, Pej. You're so full of shit, you're full of shit about being full of shit. I'm like, wow, he knows. But I'll tell you this right now, like, he was a real one. He's like 28 years sober, talking about, I was mainlining heroin in Baldwin Park and all this shit. I was like, I love this guy. He was a former bank robber that never got fucking caught. He was the wingman. I was like, you're my hero.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a gangster, even though I lived out of my car when I got here, but I'm a gangster, right? And sure enough, he pretty much encouraged me to go back to school. He showed me how to pay my bills, how to make my court dates, how to do all the responsible things that we should do as people that are recovering, right? And I told him I don't like school, but he's like, go to school, because when you're in school because I went to the Art Institute and tanked that. I'm an artist by nature, right? Tanked that opportunity. And in high school, 1.8 grade point average. And he said, Pej, you're not loaded right now. Were you loaded in those times? I'm like, of course I was. Like, I was always loaded. He said, go to school and do drug and alcohol studies. So I went to Saddleback.
Okay.
Fucking finished top of my class. Dean's list, 4.0 student. Never. Did you know that when you're sober, Doc, you can actually pay attention in class? Yeah. And you can finish your assignments and you can, like, do well on your tests. And so I started working in treatment. My get well job was at Trader Joe's while I put myself through school, but then I started working in treatment at it was my very first place was Newport Academy, which is an adolescent facility. They had just opened. I was working with a bunch of little mini Pejes in there, a bunch of people that reminded me of myself. A lot of power struggles. But that's where I started learning fucking kids are smoking grandma's fucking oxycodone. Like, you're smoking pills? Like, how creative. Right? But some of the kids were making Pruno in the backyard. But what happened was, and then the Department of Justice took me out of there because I was a former meth salesman and they didn't want me to fucking be working with kids. I fought that case here in downtown LA and got to work back there again. And instead, I started working in adult treatment.
Okay.
And so I've worn every hat in when it comes to treatment outside of being a therapist. I've been a case manager. I've been a program director, program manager, and then I took it into another direction. In 2014, I moved up to Westwood and opened some high-end Persian sober livings that were very structured and designed around the type of environment that I got sober in. And we'd get Persians, we'd get Persian Armenians, Afghans, an Arab, a couple of Mexicans, a white guy. But like, really, what I brought to the table was everything that was taught to me. Again, that no-nonsense style of recovery. And we opened a house in Westwood and then in Bel Air. And I didn't really like the doctor that I was working with that would bring all of his patients in. Like, he wasn't really ethical. God rest his soul. He died too. He was actually my original psychologist, but I became a coach during that time. First, it was a life coach and then a recovery coach. And then that's when I met Earl Hightower. Earl was
He's a boss in this
He's
game.
a boss. He became my sponsor in AA, but he also...
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Then he became, well, he was already...
This guy,
who's
Hightower's top of the food chain when it comes to interventions and all that. Like, he's one of the largest in the United States. He deals
40
with
some odd years he was doing intervention.
Yeah, and he deals with like your highest end celebrities and you know all that. Yeah.
A lot of big names that you know that got sober.
Yeah, he did.
Earl had a hand in it a lot of times.
Yeah.
So Earl, he took me under his wing. He trained me. He showed me the ins and outs of like being a professional interventionist, and that's what I started doing. I mean, I love it. I love the field that I'm in. It's never.
What do you love about it?
There's never a dull moment.
For sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
And
that's an
and being a
understatement.
sober man that loves my sobriety and loves God.
That's right.
In the top of the morning, I ask God to just show me how I can be effective and useful in anyone's life. And it never fails. They're always put in my path. Because of my TikTok reach and all the stuff on social media, and because of being part of Intervention on Call now, there are so many moms and dads that I'll talk to on a national and global level that are telling me, like, my kid's in psychosis, and can you, what do we do? And I mean, I coach them, right? Like, they book sessions with me to do that. But my adventures are out on the front lines. Like, it used to be in rehab on the front lines, like dealing with 10 drug addicts that don't want to be there. And like,
Yeah.
I could run these groups, right? But now
Complaining about the food.
complaining about everything.
Everything, yeah.
Like just getting their AMA in full rolling motion. But I like being out there, like, in them tents and going into some millionaire's house where the fucking lady's like strapped and got a bottle of fucking JD in her fucking negligee and her robe, and she's just
Bring
like,
me next time.
who's there? Like, me, I'm coming to help you, right? It's never a dull moment, man. God places them in my path. Last year was my busiest year ever. I was all over Fort Lauderdale, Miami. And what's crazy, I'm gonna tell you this, Michael, and I'm sure you believe this and understand this. When we get well and grounded and spiritually fit, we can fucking manifest shit.
For sure.
Like, we can manifest anything. Like, I was thinking 2 years ago, I wish I had a job, because I'd see all these motherfuckers always like traveling with their jobs. I wish I had a job where I could travel a lot more. I wish I could coach online in the comfort of my own more. And by being proactive and active in what I do, it manifested into that. Like, last year I was all over this country traveling. I'm like, another one and another one and another one. And now because of Intervention on Call, I open up my slot for the week for however many availabilities I have for people. I constantly have to tell her, like, they're another one. I won't be available between 2 and 8 next week because all these people I'll be coaching. I just sit there and listen to all their problems, and then I try to, like, help them navigate and show them how to be able to help their loved one. I try to teach them how to intervene themselves.
Yeah.
So we don't have to come out, but sometimes it's just they're at their wits' end and it's out of their hands.
You coach me on being a better human being?
I could. I certainly could.
So you're-
First,
that's
you have
an
to get along
exorci-
with the doctor.
An exorcism needs to happen
You,
first.
you coach recovering addicts or family members as
Both.
well? Yeah, both. Okay.
Both. I love working with the families, although the Persian families give me the most anxiety. I'm not kidding you.
Why?
They're the hardest people to fucking get through to.
Why is that?
Very
Yeah.
stubborn. I don't want to call them narcissistic, but they think they know it all, right? And they're the cheapest fucking ones. Like, can you give us a deal, like a Persian deal? I'm like, no, I can't. Like, this is a fucking service here. Like, why would I give you all deals when I'm making this over? I got
think
2
your
mortgages.
enemies
Are you kidding me? Fuck.
The enemies to
You
the
know-
west aren't cheaper?
What's that?
Your enemies to the west aren't cheaper?
Good one.
Zinger!
I actually am from the West now. I got my citizenship 2 years ago.
Oh,
now I can
nice.
Go all. You know why I couldn't get my citizenship, Doc?
Why?
Because during the Clinton administration, my mom, my dad, my sister, they all got their citizenship, and Pej was getting felonies.
That'll do it.
So in sobriety, though, another thing manifested.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I was able to get my citizenship, and now I've been traveling the world. I love it.
Do you think this is because of the steps?
I'm certain that everything that's happened in my life definitely has to do with the steps and the deep-rooted stuff therapeutically and clinically was worked out. The thing that changed me in my sobriety process, and I'm sure you're aware of what this would be, and you'd probably understand too, I did a psychodrama on the day of my car accident. And we got to relive that. And through that process, they literally put a guy on the ground and he was supposed to represent the corpse of the kid that I hit. They put a sheet over his body. And I went through this. It was a therapeutic, it was in a family group with all these other Persian families. There were so many tears that were poured that day, but it was in that moment where I put my hand on the body and that guy, Siamak, walked me through it. And he said, "What's your commitment?" I said, "I want to help every single addict, alcoholic of every age, race, creed, and color, one day at a time for the rest of my life." And then I did a double take. I'm like, did that shit just come out of my mouth? Where'd that come from? But it was because I was catching recovery in here, you know? The steps are essential. The steps are, I mean, that's what's building constantly our spirits. Like resentment still crop up. There's a lot of motherfuckers I don't fucking like.
Yep.
Like, there's people I don't like, but I'll do some writing assignments on them, or I'll fucking do the sick man or sick woman's prayer and call it a day. At the end of the day, I'm trying to live in God's light.
Right
You
on.
know?
Right on.
Amen.
You know.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Do you think this it's because of the steps that you were actually able to reach a point and really get there in that trauma work?
For sure. I think they kind of worked hand in hand.
That's my philosophy.
For sure. For sure. I mean, it's a spiritual awakening, right?
Yes.
So what does that mean? If it's a spiritual awakening, where was I? I was asleep,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Most of the world is asleep. Like,
Yes.
It's that third dimensional living. It's the matter, material, a lot of stuff like that's physical, the shiny shit. That's what we think is going to fill us up. But when we're in the fourth dimension, catapulted or rocketed into the fourth dimension, we're now in the realm of the spirit. And because I was able to tap into spirit, it made it that much more easier. I'm going to tell you something right now, if you don't mind, that's fucking gnarly. Like, when I spoke at 7 years sober, after I was done speaking, this guy came up and he told me, "What's up, Pej?" And we talked. And he's like, "I remember you. I think we used to get high together." He goes, "Yeah, I got 11 months sober." And he goes, "I'm the caretaker of the mom of the kid that you hit on that bike."
Oh.
Holy shit.
You know, isn't that like? And then 3 weeks later, I saw him at Trader Joe's, but I stopped dead in my tracks because I saw the mom pushing the car. Like, that shit, you can't write this shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then last week, I was speaking at an Al-Anon AA meeting at Thursdays in Sunset Beach, and the guy that was leading the meeting first, the Al-Anon guy spoke, then I spoke, and then the guy opened it up for sharing. He goes, "I want to go first." And he goes, and I had my head down for a second. I wasn't paying attention. Pej daydreams still sometimes. All of a sudden, I hear this guy say, I'm just happy that I'm sober in a room with another person that's sober in the same room that actually killed my friend behind the wheel when we were 17 years old." And I was like looking up. I'm like, "Was he fucking talking about me?" Like,
Shit.
I went up to him afterwards, and I said, "Is that him?" He goes, "Yeah, his name was David." I'm like, "Fuck,
Wow.
fuck." It's like
Only in recovery does shit like this happen.
I would have missed it all. I'm
Yeah,
telling
we would
you.
have missed it.
You know.
That's powerful, dude. Yeah, and it's like crazy because like I agree. I have the same, I guess, mission that you were just saying. My mission, I believe, is to help every addict that comes across my path, and that's my mission.
And
in
I
life.
see you do that.
And
He
it's
does.
so it's so crazy how like God will put all of these people like right in front of us, you know, to help, and specifically where it's like we can use whatever it is we have.
Yeah.
And I don't think that without the steps and without God that's possible. I think the steps for me cleared away everything where I couldn't see, and God will show me, you know,
Always.
on who to help, how to help, what to say, what to do.
And
you
we
know.
can't save them all,
No, unfortunately.
but we can
can't.
certainly try.
Yeah, you know, but my job isn't to save anyone. On my best day,
Yeah.
I can plant seeds.
That's
My
we're-
job
we're in
is-
the seed planting.
Yeah, we are in the seed planting
Planting
business,
business,
and,
yeah.
and I can choose to plant less seeds and not do that, or I can choose to plant more.
Yeah.
You know, I believe God decides if and when they grow, and it's not my business. Even though I, unfortunately, stay in that business a lot when I don't like the outcomes. You know,
Yeah,
of
keep
it.
trying.
That's the downside of this thing too, is we watch a lot of death. You know.
A lot. I just buried a guy here last week, right up the street.
Yeah, we live in a world. We all in here live in a world that is unlike any other, and it's actually never been in the history of man.
Yeah.
The death rate that is going on. It's like we're all in Vietnam every day,
Sure.
and we're losing our friends. And for us, it's like, you know, trying to describe that to like outsiders.
Yeah.
You know, they like.
They couldn't understand it.
No, and they might know or heard they have like a neighbor that had a son that had passed away, but it's like our lives, like we live in this culture that like we love each other so much, and we die so much.
Yeah.
And we have to get up and continue throughout all these deaths. And I always think like the last one of the last really big deaths for me. I remember sitting in my room and I'm like, just fucked up, dude. And I was like, I wonder which time my brain's just gonna crack. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because like we deal with a lot of trauma and that type of shit, you know. And it's
Yeah.
like, and you're out there trying, and I know I'm assuming you feel like I do when you're trying to help, and you're one of those guys that are like out there trying to help. And as much as we logically can say, like when we try to help and that person dies,
Yeah.
it's impossible to not take that on. For me, anyway.
Because it happens so much, as you were mentioning.
Yeah.
When I think I'm desensitized, because I mean, pretty much in this world that we live in this recovery world,
Yeah.
usually when you hear someone died again and they're between 18 and say 30 or 40,
Yeah.
we can pretty much guess how they
Fentanyl,
died.
yeah.
Oh, every
It's not like
time
it
you
was
read the
they drank themselves
obituaries,
to death,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
It's usually some kind of fentanyl pill that was all that.
died unexpectedly.
But just when I think I'm desensitized because it happens so commonly, I'll just go to the funeral and there's no way I can't feel. I watch these fucking. I met her at my friend's funeral. It was our friend, right? And I can't convince myself that I've taken off these. I know I'm an empath, and I'd like to believe sometimes that I'm not because I don't want to feel the emotions a lot of times. But it's just that way. Like I have my empath wings and I cannot take them off.
But would you want to?
No, I wouldn't want to, but I'm saying sometimes I don't look. I don't do good with death. I don't
Same.
do good with funerals. I don't know what the fuck to
Same.
say to a parent
I don't either.
or to anyone that lost somebody because I know every other motherfucker saying the same shit. My condolences.
Correct.
You know, and I don't want to be just another typical. Then again, I have to say it.
Correct.
But more, I just sometimes tell them I have no words. You're just in my prayers and thoughts, and I love you.
Yeah, there isn't nothing you can say. And
There's
we
nothing
ha-
you can say.
and we have to deal with that shit. But I don't know. You know, it's like I see people in recovery. I do know some people that the deaths happen and it doesn't seem to affect them. They're like, oh well, they were using, and then I'm
Yeah.
like,
If I've connected with the person pretty deeply, or even
I don't
surface
ever
level-
not want to, because you know
Yeah.
how I look at it. It doesn't matter if everyone else isn't giving a shit. Like I think that in some odd way that like they deserve for me to mourn them and to feel that death.
Yes.
And even if everyone else is not doing it, I'm gonna do it.
I'm going to do it.
And it's at a cost.
Yeah, I still show up to the funerals, and I
Yeah.
see a lot of people
Yeah.
don't show up
I
that
know.
probably could have,
Yeah.
but they might have gotten too busy or whatever excuse.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna show up.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, I had a guy that was cussing me and telling me, I'll go fuck your mom.
Yeah.
3 weeks before in my fucking text because he had some idea made up in his convoluted, tweaked out mind
Yeah.
that I owed him something.
Yeah.
And I just thought, okay, this is a sick man. And not even 3 weeks later, his mom texted me and said, he's gone forever. And then because they're Persian, but they have this certain religion, they have to bury the person fast. So they bury. 3 days later, I'm fucking a pallbearer holding this guy's thing and laying him to rest in the ground, just thinking, God, like this was a human.
Yeah.
This guy was hanging out with us. Like we were having laughs.
Someone's son.
We were going and doing shit, right? We were like,
They have a whole existence. They have a whole.
He's gone
presence.
forever.
Yeah. Done.
just because of a bad choice and because he didn't want to see this way of life.
Cause and it's crazy because like that's what I'm saying. Like nobody has ever lived the life that we live. It's fucking crazy. Like I had a kid that fucking wanted to play video games in my sober living. And we had taken away the video games because he wasn't doing his chores, wasn't doing his stuff,
Is
right?
he in my house?
And Doc was with them.
Addicted to
And-
video games?
Yeah, and the right thing to do, I think the responsible thing to do is part of, we're supposed to turn little boys into men.
Yeah.
And structure is how we manage your life until you can manage it yourself,
Sure.
because we manage our lives into using all the time. And for us, we're very structured. And, we took his video games and he was that upset about a video game.
Yeah.
And you know how us addicts are. We're so illogical. We get a feeling, so we think it's like, let's blow everything up.
Yeah. He
And
took his drugs
he
away.
left that sober living and he died.
Jeez.
And it's like, fuck,
Yeah.
you know?
wild.
And it's like,
I had a feeling you were going there with that.
I can go on and on those.
Oh yeah, me too.
And it's hard not to take that on, you know?
For
And-
sure.
But I want to, in a sense, because I don't ever want to be like, well, yeah, they chose.
Yeah.
The fuck? He didn't fucking choose.
Yeah.
His emotions were so dysregulated that was his solution. And a normal person will never understand because that's illogical to say, you know what, I'm going to go use fentanyl because you won't let me play my video games right now.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's not a logical.
Really,
Wouldn't tell a woman I
emotionally
love her
driven.
if she did 48 hours later.
What's that?
No bullshit. 48. A girl I told I didn't want to be with her anymore. 48 hours. It wasn't because but she used fentanyl and she died 48 hours later.
No, it's all emotionally driven.
Yeah.
We're emotionally driven. Every relapse I've ever had, I've said this before. I don't know about on the podcast, but I've said it numerous times. Every relapse I've ever had, which is probably 75, has always been emotionally driven.
For sure.
I've never been in a state of serenity and contentment, peace, happiness, gratitude, and just decided in the clearest of moments, this is a good time to run to the crack house and fuck it all up. I've never done that.
Yeah.
Throw some intense anger in there.
There's something that's
It
boiling
fucks up my
within.
thinking. It does.
Yeah.
So when people say, yes, it is a choice, but it's a choice he made. I know he was a friend of mine. He made that choice under his own emotional distress, his compromised thinking. He didn't think. He wasn't thinking, well, if I take he wasn't doing a pros and cons list. He wasn't weighing options. His rationale's out the door because he's angry as a hornet. Fuck Michael. Fuck everybody. Yeah, I've been there. Are you kidding? How many times fuck Pej?
Yeah.
Right? Fuck his girlfriend. Fuck all of you has led to oblivion.
Yeah, fucking yourself.
Too many times to count.
Yeah.
That's not a good choice, but I'm not thinking about that when I make the fucker. That's why we need places like Stairway. We need help, community.
Yeah.
I need a guy like Michael to grab me by the shirt collar when I'm about to do that.
But don't you think that, like you're very passionate about what you do, and you said, I manifested. I don't know if it's, I don't know what is, but I think I think our passion drives us to things. I guess one would say manifesting.
Yeah.
But just as we are, our emotions are so abnormal
Yeah.
and we make crazy decisions. But I think that with recovery and God, we're so passionate more than your normal person. And it's like you get a lot of people, and like you're such a good example of like, if you weren't an addict, I don't believe you'd be living the life you're living, bro. And being able to hit these like, because you're balling, I know it, and you're doing like really good at your businesses, and you're like fucking killing the game at all this different shit. I think that's because you're an addict and you're very passionate, right?
I mean, I don't want to say I hustle recovery, but I work as hard as I was hustling drugs and trying to get drugs and sell drugs.
Yeah.
I work that hard here
Yeah,
for the right reasons.
yeah,
You know, to try to help. I'll tell you this though, even in probably the last 5 years of me using and knowing my life was fucked off, there was always this quiet voice in the back of my head that always told me, this wasn't supposed to be like this. You're better than this, and you should be helping people so they don't get like this. So there was already like, and I think that's like just because of my mom and who she was and how she nurtured me and taught me, like, I knew better. There's plenty of times I sat in jails and institutions and I what has become of my life? Like, how did I end up here? Like, what is this? So I have this passion. I had a passion when I was out there.
yeah,
I had a passion to use, to drink, but I was also artistic. I started a whole clothing line that did really well for itself, right? But I also didn't know I had no business sense because I was fucked up. Now at least I'm clear-headed and I can, the passion that I have, I'm able to do a lot. And you and I, we see this together a lot. There's a lot of people that we see that come through our homes, let's say, for example, and do the deal. You asked about the steps. Like the ones that I watch that really actually give it their all and work the steps and work through all their shit, they become amazing human beings that are like driven for life.
Yeah.
They become therapists and business owners and doctors and lawyers and all the shit. It's amazing. Or they work in treatment and they help people like we were helped. A lot of people like to go back and give back.
yeah. Well, man, this is a good podcast, man. Thank you for coming.
It's really
out
good. We
here,
didn't
dude.
get to talk about the Suboxone, but here's what I'm going to do.
We
Yeah,
got a
please.
few
I'm gonna
minutes.
have
Do we
you-
have a few minutes?
Should we talk about it?
We got a couple minutes. Hit it with Suboxone.
Okay, well, fucking
it's
Suboxone.
important.
All right, this is my idea of Suboxone, and I know that it might be very similar to yours. Buprenorphine is buprenorphine. Originally, and I think the doctor knows this too, it was used for pain management in the very beginning, many decades ago. It was, and then later on they started...
Many decades ago.
Many
yeah.
decades ago. Then they started using it as an opiate blocker, which was an alternative to methadone, which I think methadone is fucking bullshit.
For sure.
Like any motherfucker, I'm sorry for the people that have to line up, but any motherfucker that's out there distributing this and watching
They're
your
pieces of
patient go
shit.
from 40 all the way up to 150 milligrams,
Yeah.
just know that potentially they're probably going to this fucking plug and getting it even additional to get up in the 270s and 280s. You want to talk about exorcism? A person that's coming off of methadone looks like they need an exorcism.
The worst
That is
kick.
not cool, right?
Yep.
So people that got on Suboxone, we watched this whole Suboxone. You've been sober the same amount of time.
Yep.
So
You
we've
have a
been-
year more than I do.
Okay, so we've
Yep.
been seeing this,
Yep.
right? Before I got sober, I knew a guy on Suboxone, and once I had 10 years of sobriety, I talked to that guy, and he was still on Suboxone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long-term maintenance deal, right? Because somebody told him you should stay on this, or else you'll never be able to live in the world.
Yeah.
What I've seen is a lot of people go to detox, 7 to 10 days of Suboxone taper. Fair.
Works great.
Fair.
Yep.
Good enough.
Yep.
With now then they want to keep you on long term, not cool. Do not fearmonger addicts into thinking that if you get off of this, you're going to relapse. Go fuck yourself and all of your fucking credentials, because if you're saying that shit, you are basically making this person not feel like they could live in the world. I don't think God wants people to stay on a drug to stay off of another drug. God wants us to be able to find ourselves, find God, and live well.
And you cannot have a spiritual experience when you have a block
And a lot of people
a
will
narcotic.
argue that, but you're absolutely right.
I will say, anyone that's ever been honest with me on Suboxone, which I deal with it a lot,
Yeah.
so I'm a big advocate to getting people off Suboxone.
Sure.
And I will say to them, you know that feeling when you're trying to connect with your higher power and others? You know how you can't quite?
Right.
That's that.
Because you're blocked from the sunlight
You're
of the spirit.
blocked, and-
people will argue that, but it's true.
It's true.
This is another. No, shut up after this. I promise you. I am okay with Sublocade, which is buprenorphine. It's the shot. I think there's other name brands out there too. The reason I'm okay with it, because what I've seen, and when there's someone that's going to come to my sober living, if they're on a taper plan, 1 month to 2 months.
Yep.
Start them at 300.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep.
Go down to 100 because there's no 200
Yep.
in between, and watch. It's painless
Yep.
for the most part,
Yep.
physically, right? It might fuck with their head a little bit, right? But
Not even a lot.
Every one of them that has gotten off of it,
Yep.
that has subscribed to our style of recovery, has succeeded.
So that's what I do. So I will let them to get, because the Suboxone is more addictive than the fentanyl they were on.
Exactly.
And that's why the detox is harder. So I will let them get one Sublocade. And when they get on that one Sublocade, it starts to go away within them. And the community replaces that,
Yeah.
the connection that they're lacking and the steps and all of
Then
that.
they don't want to be on it.
They don't want to be on it.
Yeah.
And I don't have anyone trying to get on it. And I've all 100% success on everyone that does that. Big Pharma has this fucking, once again, they created the opiate crisis. So Big Pharma comes to the rescue with another addictive medication.
Yeah.
And it's, they got the doctors, they got California made it a mandate that you have to be on Suboxone. This is fucking sickening
It
what
is
Big Pharma is
disgusting.
doing. But you know what's horrible to me? Is if you are in fucking recovery and you have gotten clean through the 12 steps and you know that you can,
Yeah.
and you are participating in poisoning our people with that Suboxone, you are just as bad as a drug dealer.
Absolutely.
And even if you're, and I don't give, this is my take, if you're working for a place, I would never work for a place and say, I got to get a paycheck while I'm watching my people get poisoned on narcotics. And you're seeing that. These treatment centers wouldn't be around if people that were in recovery would actually stand on the principles of how they got clean. However you got clean, I think is the way you're supposed to pass it down. The way I got clean is the way I'm supposed to pass it down.
And that goes with weed-friendly places too.
Oh, they're horrible. There's nothing worse.
Oh my
There's
God!
nothing worse.
Don't even get me
There's nothing
started
worse.
on
Yeah.
those.
Horrible. Disgusting.
Anyway, you're awesome, bro.
You're awesome too. I'm going to have you on my podcast and we're going to talk about body brokering there.
Yeah. I'm down. Yeah, I love that. Well, thanks for coming out,
Thanks
dude.
for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Great fucking episode.
All those characters back there. Thank you guys.
We're gonna have
for
you back. We're gonna
being
have
a
you
part of
back.
this too. And really, it was so nice to meet you.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you for coming. We're gonna have you back for sure.
I
This
would
is
love to
great.
come back anytime. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm always a fan of Michael. He's my hero.
You want to plug your social media?
Yeah. So to find me on TikTok, it's Pej Interventions. And then I also have on Instagram Pej Interventions, but a separate channel called Pej Media.
PEJ.
PEJ, which we're trying to grow Pej Media. On YouTube, there are 2 YouTube channels. One is called Pej Interventions. The other one is called Primary Purpose with Pej. That is the new podcast where we get guests from all walks of life. And then on Facebook, which I know for us older people that still utilize
But
Facebook.
you're huge on Facebook, though. You're killing it.
My Facebook got better than ever.
Yeah.
It's called Pej's, Pejis, Recovery Corner, which used to be my podcast name. But that's like where a lot of older people find me.
Yeah.
And maybe some younger people that still fuck with Facebook.
Yeah. They're just getting clean.
Are you on Craigslist or?
Craigslist, HVAC, roof.
Yeah, back page or Facebook.
Don't think
Back page.
Is there still Backpage? Would you know?
I used to know
Oh, okay.
my whole life.
All right. And you can find us in Solo and Doc on all social media platforms, and Fuck the Stigma on all
love
social
it.
media platforms.
I want to learn more about fuck the stigma. For sure.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday, Elisha. Thanks.